What's up, everybody? Let me make sure you guys can see me. There we go. Fantastic. All right, let me pull this out so that I can see everybody. All right, how's everybody doing today? Been a while since I did one of these inside of this group. Probably gonna start it back up. We'll see. What's up, Jonathan? All right, guys. So today we're gonna be going over how to make $200 a day reselling electronics part-time. So for those of you guys who don't know who I am, my name is Chris Roeder. I've been reselling phones and electronics for a couple of years now, going on, I guess it's about 8 years now or so. So I've been around the block, but done quite a few different things. I'm also a social media marketer. I think that is one of the reasons I was so good at, or am good at, reselling electronics, because I've always told my students the best marketers become the best resellers. So for you guys that don't know who I am, like I said, my name is Chris Roeder. I started my reselling electronics business 7 years ago. I was a server at a restaurant called Papado. I was slinging fondues and bringing bread to people and things like that. So that's kind of where I started. I'm now flipping all kinds of stuff. So I used to flip only phones. We've started moving into things like game consoles, Oculus headsets, all kinds of different stuff now. Apple Watches, cameras, you name it. The business has essentially evolved over the past couple of years. And I even wrote a book here recently on my entire process. So it's called the Tech Flips to Profit ebook. It's 93 pages long, full of all kinds of good stuff in there. So for all of those newbies out there that are trying to kind of break into the industry and get started, I highly recommend getting that book. I'll drop the link in the comments and everything for you guys at the end. But I want you guys to kind of participate here. I can't see how many people are on live, but that's okay. I see people joining. So, all right. So I kind of want to get a temperature check of where everybody is really quickly. So type 1, if you are brand new to reselling, you've never resold anything ever, okay? Type a 2 if you're currently a reseller, okay? So number 1, if you're brand new. Number 2, if you are currently a reseller. And then also drop your location. I'd love to see where you guys are at. I see somebody says they're in Los Angeles, so that's fantastic. That's a good city to flip in, by the way. Really good city to flip in. So got some 1s and 2s coming in. Fantastic. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, man? So awesome, guys. Ooh, Toronto. Good stuff. Serge, I got two students in Toronto right now, and they're absolutely killing it. That city, I actually just got off of a call with one of them, and we were going over a Facebook group strategy for her area, and she's getting 100 group leads a day, and we just optimized it to automatically turn those people into leads. So pretty cool. Hey, Cedra, how are you doing? Okay, Axel, what's up, dude? All right, sweet. We got all kinds of we even got OGs on here. Beautiful. All right, guys. So today I'm going to be going over how to make $200 a day reselling electronics part-time. Okay, so there's a couple things I wanted to go over here, and it's going to be pretty simple. It's going to be broken down into the 3 things that I usually talk about. I do want to start off with some wins first. I know some people in here are already resellers, so drop your wins below. I want to know what your wins are. So what did you buy this week? What did you sell this week? And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what we've been buying and selling this week. So let me pull that up. There we go. So let me pull up my Slack group here real quick. It's not the right one. Okay, so a couple of wins in my community. This is my membership group. This is a Slack group. We moved it from a Facebook group to Slack. One of my students got his $10,000 Superstar Award here recently. And we got Matt, my head game console coach here. Absolutely killing it on the console game. So he made $320 in profit off of one purchase. Insane. We got another one here. That was Matt again. unpatched switch sale. Steven Perez, he posted a no power 3DS and it sold for $150. It's wild. It was no power, wouldn't turn on. So, and then it also looks like he sold a game as well. So that's fantastic. Small batch going out today. Mark over here. Mark is the treasure hunter of my group for the most part. So he buys and resells all kinds of things. And he's just absolutely killing it. He's looking to turn 80% of his business into electronics. Got Matt up here killing it with the games. Here's Mark again. Big sale. Valve Index headset. Only cable. So cool thing about this, guys, is he bought this entire thing. I believe it was for $200. The whole headset for $200. So Mark again buying this for $80. So there's a lot of wins, right? Here's another one, $100 purchase for a PS3 fat. And then you got a whole bunch of games and everything with it too. And then he said the Zelda controller and the games go for $75 on eBay. Unpatched switch. So there's a lot of wins. And here's me buying 2 phones at the gym. I was at the gym and I had some people meet me there. And I just ended up purchasing the 2 phones off of them. So who says you can't get a workout in and make money at the same time, right? Who here would like to have somebody deliver phones to you while you're at the gym? If that's you, type yes in the comments below, because that was awesome. I've had it happen multiple times at this point. And the reason I do that is simply because sometimes people can't meet me, my typical 12 and 5, right? So what I do is I'm just like, all right, just meet me where I'm at. You come to me. I don't go to anybody. Okay. And I'll be talking about that a little bit today. All right. So those are a couple of wins. I saw some wins in the comments. Jeff says he bought his first camera, Canon DSLR, body and lens for $50. That's awesome. What else we got here? Jonathan says he picked up a MacBook Pro 2011 for $50. Sold it on eBay for $168 this morning. Dude, that's awesome. That's freaking great. Good stuff. All right, guys. So today we're going to be talking about how to make $200 a day reselling electronics part-time. Okay, just going to be going into it. There's 3 parts to this, just so you guys know. I'm going to be going over each part individually. So the 3 parts. The 3 parts are, number 1, you need ads. Okay, so I've gone over how to post ads many times. You can post them on Craigslist. You can post them in Facebook groups. But what I really recommend, what I personally recommend, I recommend paid ads. Okay, so paid Facebook ads, Instagram ads, they're the same thing. If you're tech savvy enough, Google ads. Okay, that is something that I think I'm only the only, or at least I was the first one to teach it for this industry anyway. And don't let anybody tell you any different either. So the first thing that we want to do is post ads. Okay, so I can link you guys. Well, you know what? I'll just kind of share. Let me just go to my screen here and we'll set up an ad real quick. Or I'll show you guys one account. Whoop, wrong thing. All right, so we're going to go to my ad account. Or one of my ad accounts. And we'll be going over how or what an ad looks like. So I'm just going to go over what the ads look like. I think this one might be one. Let me just open this one up and see. Computer's running a little slow, so. All right, so what does an ad actually look like, right? What does a paid ad look like? Let me see if there's one here actually. Riley says, you put me on with Google My Business, great way to get leads coming in for free along with paid opportunity. Absolutely. So Riley is in there saying, so I talk a lot about Google My Business. Sorry, this isn't the right ad account. Google My Business is absolutely crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. So here we go. I'll just open up one of these. This will work. Let me go to me use Paul as an example. Paul's one of my clients. He's been with me for a couple of years actually. So, but his ads right now are pretty much crushing. And I'll give you guys an overview because going into it all will take a little bit of time. And I got plenty of videos on YouTube that kind of explain it as well. It's been a while since I've seen you, Riley. Good to see you, man. All right, so we'll go here to this one. So I always run campaigns at $5 a day. And then I want you guys to understand the way that I run ads is super simple. So one thing you guys need to realize is you don't have to be super professional about this. Okay, it's not necessary for you to be crazy professional about your ads. All right. In fact, the crappier the ad is, the better it works. Just being real. So let's see which one has a. So this one is at 237 per lead, and he's been getting some pretty quality leads as well. So let me pull this up. Let's do a little edit here. So this is what our ads look like, guys. So, hey, San Diego, what we do is we call out the city that we're in, right? And then we say we pay cash for phones. We buy new, used, cracked, most conditions considered. We pay cash same day, safe transactions every time without buying more than one, blah, 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 right? This is what our ads look like. And then simply what happens after that is they click send message, and then they're put into a direct conversation with the person who's running the ads. So in this case, it would be Paul, right? In your case, it would be yourself, right? And all of that is facilitated through a business page. So you can see San Diego phone and electronic buyer. So that is how you would communicate with those leads. So the first thing that we need is ads, okay? Whether that's free, whether that's paid, you need ads regardless, okay? Now, to get to $200 a day, typically what I recommend, so $200 a day, just let's break down the math really quickly. $200 a day in profit is roughly $6,000 a month in profit. What I recommend to get to that is you need to be running at least $15 to $30 a day in ad spend, somewhere around that. Now, most of you guys won't, especially if you're new, you're not going to start out like that. Okay, many of you guys might start out at like $5 a day, but if you can start out higher, that's even better, okay? And then you have to do what's called split testing. You have to split test different photos, different ad copies, and figure out which ad is actually going to work, right? That's what we want to do here. We have to split test, figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work, and kind of go over all of that. So if we go back to that example I gave real quick, typically what you want is your messages to be somewhere around, $3 and lower most of the time, unless they are absolutely just bringing in great leads, right? So for example, I might shut this one off. I'd have to double check though. I always double check the leads that are coming in from specific ads before I ever shut anything off, because somebody could be getting $3 leads or almost $4 leads. However, they might also be the highest quality leads they're getting. So sometimes you actually have to go in and figure out what your return on ad spend is on a specific ad, right? So for example, this one we might shut off, right? But these, they're all, 229, 279, 237, 258. These three right here are well within range, okay? And they're bringing them good leads too. And this is also over like the maximum. So if we actually do the last 7 days, yeah, I mean, this one right here, well, this is MacBooks, but you can see, he's running about 20 bucks a day, $15, $16 a day actually. So the first thing we need to do is run ads, okay? The second thing that we need to do is we need to be able to determine the market value of an item. So in the comments, if you guys would, put in an item. So just somebody put in an item that you guys want me to appraise, and I'll appraise it here live for you guys. I'll even bring out my fancy calculator that helps me appraise. So go ahead and you guys start putting, put something in the comments that you guys want me to appraise and figure out the value for, and I will do so. And I'm going to pull out my calculator while I'm waiting on that. All right. iPhone 13 Pro Max, bad ESN. iPhone 13 Pro Max, 256 gigabyte. Let's do the bad ESN one. Sweet. We got quite a few people coming in. Awesome. Okay. So let's do the one Riley said. Let me pull up eBay real quick. Let me share my screen. All right, let's let eBay pull up real quick. Let me just ebay.com. There we go. Got too many tabs open apparently. As always, all the time. All right, so let's do iPhone 13 Pro Max bad ESN. We'll wait for my thing to load here. There we go. Okay, iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now, whenever we're looking up bad ESN prices, what we want to do is we just want to type in ESN because bad ESN won't show up. All right, and then the next thing that we want to do, we're just going to assume I'm going to just assume it's 128 gigs. So I'm going to put 128. And then we need to go to sold listings. We always want to look at sold. You never want to base your appraisal off of something that is not sold. Okay, so that's something you don't want to do. All right, so we got iPhone 13 Pro Max blue, ESN is bad. We got one here for 600. Got another one here. This it looks like got AT&T lock, and then check ESN. Then we got another one here for T-Mobile. So I want to find some that are kind of closer. So let's see here. So we got this one that's 600. This one that's 544. All right, so I'm seeing a trend here. So I see a 549. I see a 544. This is February 3rd that it sold. Also pay attention to the dates that they sold. If it's more than 30 days ago, you don't want to use it. Okay. These are these are kind of outliers. So you don't want to base off of this price. I feel like this is way overpriced. I'm not sure why. All right. So then we got one here for 529. Okay. So we got 529. We got 529, 544, 549. Okay. Those are all, you want them within roughly $30 of each other. Okay. So now, so we got 549. Let's go plug it into my little calculator here. 549. Whoops. 549. 544. 544. And then what was the last one here? 529. Okay. 529. Okay. All right. So the average this thing is going to sell for is roughly $540. That's a pretty fair appraisal. Okay. Now, I would personally start off at a 40% offer. So 40% offer is right here. Okay. So a 40% offer on this device is going to be about $216. I would personally round it up to $220. Okay. So if I knew that it was financed, I knew that I was going to sell for parts, right? I would start at $220, which would give me a potential profit of $248, and that's minus 13% eBay fees, right? If you have a business account with eBay, which I highly recommend, you will save a ton on fees. However, I can go all the way up to my offer being about 60%. So I'd even go to like $330, right? Where I still make, roughly about $135 in profit, right? So not bad, right? Literally free money. So that is how you appraise something, especially with eBay. Now you can also do this on Swappa as well. So for example, if you see something, you find 3 sold offers on Swappa, you can do the same thing, same exact thing, same thing with a direct buyer. Okay. So yeah. So the second part of things is knowing how to appraise something and how to find the value of that item in the market. Okay. I will be answering questions at the end, just so you guys know. And then the last part, guys, is negotiating. how do we negotiate, right? So negotiation is something that a lot of people ask me about. It's probably the most common thing that people ask me for on my YouTube channel. So how do we negotiate? So the way that I personally negotiate, guys, is like this. So I always start off with an anchor offer. Okay. So my anchor offer is usually what people call a low ball. The reason I call it an anchor is so that that price anchors in that person's head. And they're like, I mean, they're like, WTF, like sometimes they're like that. They're like, whoa, like that's really low. Okay. However, what I'm doing is I am assuming everything is bad about this phone, right? So for example, and you can do this with game consoles, you can do this with Oculus Quests, you can do this with literally anything. This is called my bullet negotiation strategy. So I'll make an anchor offer first. And then if they're like, no, I'm good. I'll be like, okay, no problem. How much were you looking to get for it? Then I'll ask that question and they'll tell me. I'll be like, oh, okay. And then I'll move to what company is it with? So the first two questions I need, what's wrong, what device is it and what's wrong with it, right? And then after that question, after they say no or whatever, I can move to, okay, well, what company is it with? Unless they tell me that like it's unlocked first, and then I'll just go with my unlocked price, right? So I'll move to that and I'll be like, oh, I didn't realize it was unlocked or whatever, right? I can actually offer this amount, right? And then if they're still like, no, it's still too low, I'll be like, okay, how many gigabytes does it have? Like, what's the storage size on it? And then they'll tell me, and let's just say it's a higher one than I expected. It's 256 gigs, right? Then I can be like, oh, my bad. Actually, I can offer this amount. So you guys see what I'm doing here. I'm going up step by step by step, asking more questions, keeping them engaged in the conversation, right? And then to take it a step further, there's many other questions you can ask. Like, for example, if it's like locked to AT&T or something, hey, is it paid off, right? Then you can ask that. What's the battery health percentage? You can ask that, right? So there's many things you can ask to keep going up on this, right? So it's important to anchor first though, because sometimes people take the lowball offer and that just makes more money for us, right? And they're also getting the cash that they wanted from us as well. So that's important as well. So that's kind of my negotiation strategy. It's kind of like hit them with a lowball first, because we obviously need to make money, right? And then like at the end, if for some reason I still can't close them, I'll just tell the truth. Hey, I run a reselling business where I buy used and damaged electronics and we resell them for a profit. I will literally tell people this straight up. If you guys have ever heard any of my YouTube where I upload me with the conversations with people, you'll literally hear me saying, hey, well, it's selling for this amount on eBay. I can offer this amount. Like I literally do that. I'm very transparent about my offer and how I come up with it with the customer. Because what that does is it builds a lot of trust with that customer. Okay. So that's the three things. So ads, understanding the value of something in the market, and then negotiation. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and does that make sense to everybody? Let me type yes in the comments if that makes sense to everybody. Cool. Elliot Quick says, when I make my offers, is it too much to want $150 and up profit each time? I mean, I aim for like 80 to 100. Like that's pretty fair. Like I'm not going to try and like gouge the person every single time, right? My aim is to make more than $80 to usually 100. If I make more than that, fantastic, right? Jonathan says, when I make my offers, I get this face. Okay. Yeah. So one thing you can say to that, Jonathan, is you can be like, yeah, man, I know this market is killing me too. How much were you looking to get? That's a really good way. You can be like, haha, yeah, this market is killing me too. Just blame a third party. Okay. This is one of the best things I ever learned about negotiation is blaming a third party. Okay. You never want to blame yourself. You never want to blame your business. You always, yeah, my buyers, man. Yeah, the market's down right now. Christmas is over. You like literally like blame the market because you're not lying either. The market is literally going down every single month, right? So, and sometimes you want to tell the customer that too, because that's what happens when you buy something, it automatically goes down in value just like a car, right? So, I mean, that's how the whole system works. So, depreciation is a real thing. So, all right, let's see here. Let me see. Was there any more questions? If you guys have any questions, I can add about 5 minutes of Q&A in here. Sweet. Okay. So yeah, the main three things, guys, is ads, negotiating. Oh, I'm sorry, ads, finding the value of something in the market, and then actually, yeah, you guys repeat it. What are the three main things? Type it in the chat below. What are the three main things that you need to be dialed in to be making $200 a day in profit? You guys type it in the chat below. All right. Kid Nova says ads, and that's number one. Yeah. I know there's like a 15-second delay on a live stream, so I'll wait for you guys for a second. Put up my little face emojis. Woo, woo, woo. Jonathan says, what would you normally sell to a direct buyer? So usually new stuff. Like if it's new, like, well, I don't buy a whole lot of new. I don't say that. So like if it's like an iPhone 14, for example, if it was like a financed iPhone 14 or something like that, that is something I'd probably sell to a direct buyer, or like a 13 Pro Max. Now, I do have a 14 here. So I bought this 14 Plus the other day. I am personally selling this one on Swappa. So I sell a lot of things on Swappa, just so you guys know. I think I've sold over 100 items at this point on Swappa. I love Swappa. The reason I sell on Swappa is, number one, it pays me via PayPal, which I get my money back very quickly. I don't have to wait for like the direct buyer to pay. I don't have to wait for eBay to pay. I just get my money back really quickly so I can flip it again, right? But I don't send a whole lot of stuff to direct buyers nowadays because most of my stuff either goes on eBay, Mercari, or Swappa. Swappa, almost all of my unlocked clean ESN stuff goes there. I even sell cameras and stuff on Swappa, just because I can make more, right? So Jeff says I need to get more stuff to sell. Don't we all? Kuda says ads, determining the market value, learn to negotiate. Absolutely. What about buying phones with aftermarket screens on them? So you praise those as cracked screen. Like that's what it is. Like, because if you send it to a direct buyer, for example, or say somebody on eBay, however, there is a difference there. If you send it to a direct buyer, they're going to consider it cracked screen. It's just automatically going to assume, like, consider it. However, if you sell it on eBay and you're transparent about it being an aftermarket screen, you can probably get a little bit more than you would from a direct buyer. Anything that has an aftermarket screen, I usually sell on eBay. And I'm very transparent that it has an aftermarket screen. So usually how you can tell when there's an aftermarket screen, just for you guys, I know you're going to ask this question. There's usually like a little lip on the screen. So for example, I got an iPhone 11 here. So usually there's a little lip right here on this iPhone 11. This is a genuine Apple screen. So I can tell that it's not aftermarket. Okay. That's just how you tell that. So there's usually a little bitty lip on the screen next to the bezel of the phone, I guess. So was this helpful, guys? Let me know in the comments if this was helpful. And how many of you guys are going to implement this stuff? Let me know. Type yes if this was helpful. Can you get a direct buyer for electronics? Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of direct buyers for phones. I mean, mostly phones. Most direct buyers are for phones, just so you guys know. Cool. All right. Who in here is looking to start, grow, and or scale an electronics reselling business? If that's you, type 1 in the comments below. Jeff says, yes, good nuggets. Implement on top of what I do right now. Awesome. Cool. So for those of you who are looking to start, grow, or even scale your electronics reselling business, many of you guys know I do have a program, been running it for a number of years at this point, where we help people do this. We help people grow their businesses. We even help people brand new start. Okay. Need more seed money? Doesn't everybody, right? So just so you guys know, very transparent. I help people out who want to grow their business. I've been helping, at this point, I've helped probably, I think it's over 200 resellers. So what I do though, is I help people basically, so you can see it up here, I guarantee $5,000 within 90 days or less. So, and we do this by helping you set up your ads. And when I say set up your ads, I mean, we set up your phone ads, number one. We also set up MacBook, game console, and camera ads. We set up 4 different types of ads for you. It's done with you, okay? So it's literally where I am on the screen, like Zoom with you guys, and I'm setting your ad account up. I'm helping you get through everything, okay? And then we also, I give you all the ad templates. We give you the full curriculum. You're going to get that appraisal calculator that I just showed you guys. You'll get all of my selling tips, my negotiation scripts, literally everything, okay, that all of my students get. You'll get access to the Slack group that I was just showing you guys. So this Slack group, guys, is fantastic. So as you guys can see here, we have multiple different things inside of this Slack group. We have an ad photo. We have things over console flipping. I think we saw more stuff in here now. Quite a few different things. Got our course login, documents and resources, things on eBay, questions about eBay, Facebook and Google ads. Felden, the NYC phone buyer, is in here specifically to buy cracked phones for us. He's paying currently the best in the business right now for cracked devices. We got a general chat. We got a negotiation chat, offer help chat, price sheets, reach outs, things on reaching out, recommended books and mentors, resell deck questions. You'll also get access to that. So for those of you guys who don't know, Resell Deck is a software that I created specifically for electronics resellers. What is Resell Deck? Resell Deck is this right here. Okay, you guys already saw me open it. This right here is the account for the Toronto phone buyer. I noticed somebody was here from Toronto. She is absolutely murdering it in Toronto, just so you guys know. And what this does is it connects to Facebook, Instagram, Google. So for example, down here we have our Google My Business connected. She got 121 phone calls last month from her Google My Business. That's insane, right? All of the conversations are housed inside of Resell Deck here. Facebook, Instagram, Google, text message, email. You can see she's getting messages directly on her Google My Business here. And she's getting reviews and everything. She's got opportunities here. So we're able to kind of organize our leads a little bit. So as you can see, we can move people over and things like that. You get a business website with this. This is a full setup. So you get a full business website that's already built for you, pre-built. You also get a business phone number as well. So everything. So what I'm offering here, guys, is a literally turnkey business. That's what it is. On top of that, we also offer 2 weekly group chats. So we have a game console chat where my head game console coach, Matt, what he does is he literally does what he calls ride-alongs. He literally tells you to type your zip code into the chat, and he will go and source your zip code for you while teaching you how to do it as well. And this is specifically for things like Oculus Quest and like PS4s and things like that, right? So he literally goes into your area, helps you find deals, And then we got a Wednesday chat where I do what's called ad audits. So I'll go over your ads, and then I'll also look at your negotiations. So the cool thing about Resell Deck is, like, at any point, since you guys are under it, I can go in and look at your negotiations at any point, and I can see what's wrong. So, and on top of that, we have tracking sheets and different things like that to help you kind of, turn this into more of a business, right? So that's what we do. So if you're interested in that, and you're, let's say you got about $1,500 to, invest into buying electronics and things like that, what I want you to do is type mentorship in the chat below, and I'll reach out to you personally, and we'll have a conversation. Might even get on the phone and see if it's a good fit for you. If it's not a good fit for you, I'm going to tell you. And if it's not a good fit, I'm going to give you my ebook, or you're going to buy it. It's like $5. So, but if you are brand new and you're not ready for that level of commitment yet, then I definitely do recommend this book. This book literally goes over everything you need to kind of get your feet wet in this business. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that link in the comments below, actually. So this link I'm dropping now is for the ebook. There we go. You guys can check that out. So if you guys are looking to get some help with this, drop mentorship in the comments below. If you're just starting out, but even if you're just starting out and you got a good amount of money saved, might be a good thing to look into the mentorship. One thing I do really well is help brand new people get started. I've been doing it for a while, and you also get the $5,000 guarantee within 90 days or less. So that's about it, guys. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this this training. So if you did, type yes in the comments below. Let me know what you guys, what you learned, what you took away from it. And I'm probably gonna start doing these 5 o'clock every Monday again. It seems like it helps a lot of people. You guys want me to keep doing these every Monday again? Just kind of overview of how the business works and things like that. If so, just type yes below, I guess. I'll start doing some polling. Cool. All right, guys. So for those that said mentorship below, please be on the lookout for me DMing you. I'll also tag you, just so you know. I'll comment and tag your name, and then we'll have a conversation and then go from there. So, all right, guys, crush your week, and I'll see you guys later. On to helping people win. So, onward and upward, guys. Peace out.